Let's begin by clearing up some misconceptions between ME and me.
For some reason, everyone assumes that I hate these games. I think part of the problem was someone else writing the post titles and descriptions on Destructoid. Yeah, blame it on that guy. But by stating that the series requires a lot of time, please notice that I'm in no way saying that they're bad games. I ran into Sam the Geek, really nice guy by the way, at a pre-E3 party a few years ago, and I told him that I'm really excited for Mass Effect 3. I want to see where they take the story. In summation, Mass Effect 1 and 2 are incredible games, just with some incredible flaws. I bought number 3 on the 360 so I could continue the adventures of Solidus Shepard. I show no favoritism in regards to consoles, but for real, I'm straight beefing with the Xbox. And why is that? I'm trying to release an independent game, and even though it's finished, I can't get the saving functionality to work. Look at this! Look! I'm trained to program this stuff, but the console's asynchronous device access is so complicated and broken I can't figure it out. Microsoft's example code doesn't even compile. As for community help, forget it. You know, a lot of things have happened since the internet entered the consumer market. We now have truly electronic cars, televisions are comprised of LEDs, movies travel through the air, and phones can wick the sweat off of your toes. And in all that time, why hasn't anybody figured out that online forums don't work? All these members want to do is yell at you for posting in the wrong section and criticize your approach to the problem. Yeah, the game crashed when I pulled out the memory unit while I was trying to save. You fail. So in the true spirit of the App Hub, let's try to find some glitches in Mass Effect 3. We can then ridicule Bioware and feel better about our own inability to be loved. Starting up, I'm immediately greeted by a multiplayer end-user license agreement. Offering me a chance to interact with super competitive gamers is like trying to give me a flyer at the airport. No thank you. I think I'll sell this on eBay. On to the real show. Shepard don't fear the Reaper. I hate being me. Import my Mass Effect 2 character? Don't mind if I do. Any day now. What's wrong here? I still have my Mass Effect 2 data, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm not using trick photography or old footage. I have glasses and my hair is short. Mostly from male pattern baldness. I have a Shepard, why won't he load? Nook, you better have some answers. It seems that if you import a character from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, a bug prevents you from importing to Mass Effect 3. And I thought finding glitches was going to be difficult. Oh, they released a patch about a month ago. Good job!
Given the choice of an experience, an action shooter appeals to me the most. I could go with another option so I could customize my Shepard, but all sliders to the right produces an entirely different Solidus Shepard. I guess now I start as regular Shepard. Boring. We continue this epic with Shepard back at the service of the Alliance, on Earth, behind a desk, making a living by getting ignored. He meets up with the VPs of Human Well-Being, who happen to be listening, and here come the Reapers! Nice, this will ignite my World War III nightmares again. After 3 consecutive concussions, Shepard takes up arms with Nick Evans to begin the tutorial, and a good thing too, because I forgot how to play these games. Much like Gears of War, I finished the previous games and never touched them again. Mass Effect 3 provided some videos for me to get up to speed on combat, and chalk one up for me! I genuinely found a problem! Later in the game, if you start up a training video, then hit the center button, and wait for the end of the video, the voice continues after you return. Start up another video to really have some fun.
Listen, Bioware, you need for tests for conditions are on the guide button. I find you distasteful, and I disagree with everything you stand for. I bet you would vote for Ron Paul.
Finding a problem like this actually wasn't that hard. When you live in a household with somebody who constantly wants to report her findings in Reader's Digest, the center button is always used as the true pause button. And I think that was the cause of the Wii Motion Plus losing its mind. Shepard battles his way off of Earth and teams up with Ashley Williams, my favorite person in the world, and John Cena. I'd like to continue calling him by that name, but he's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr. Kinda kills the vibe. They escape to Mars and find out that Cerberus and Martin Sheen, voiced by Martin Sheen, are not exactly on your side anymore. Right, they'll bring you back from the dead and give you a gun, but when you want to ensure the continued existence of human life, all bets are off. Shepard also has these awkward dreams of a child catching on fire. Worse, I started playing this game right after watching The Hunger Games. As if I wasn't disturbed enough. This will sound a little familiar. Remember how Mass Effect 2 was mostly about building a team? Well, Mass Effect 3 is just that on the scale of the galaxy, bringing together alien races that aren't too ready to kiss and make up against the Reapers for a final battle. I'm glad to see progress bars and percentages this time to show your battle readiness. That doesn't even sound like a real word. Rather than the guessing game in Mass Effect 2. Just to get this out of the way, I like Mass Effect 3. It's a very well-polished third-person shooter, except for the cover function, and truly feels like an epic sci-fi adventure spanning the entire galaxy. There are 3 different clans that you're fighting against, adding variety to the combat. Most predominant, of course, is the Reaper spawn, with the main strategy of put enough bullets in their rotting flesh and they'll hit the ground. Next, aforementionedly, is the Cerberus fleet. I like fighting them the most because of the awesome technology they display, but the infinite barrage of Cerberus grenades turns the gaming session into reverse whack-a-mole. And then you have a short spat with the Geth. One thing I wasn't expecting was the rage quit inducing difficulty. Mass Effect has never struck me as a particularly hard game. Maybe I'm just becoming an old man, or maybe it really is more difficult. Each team has their own version of Bruce Lee that appears near the end of a firefight to infallibly kick your ass. And after they introduce it, you have to kill a few more. Come on, 6 brutes at once? I'd look up changing the difficulty if the game had a manual. Oh, it's on the disc? Huh, my bad. I did beat them all, eventually. Maybe I should try some SMW ROM hacks. Choosing shooter at the beginning is really working out quite well. With the emphasis on bullets, talking and other forms of fluff have been cut down. I don't have to bother with the conversation path because everything is predetermined for me. Okay, I wasn't exactly breaking my thumbs telling a civilian not to microwave a baby, but now everything is so easy. I can walk past somebody talking about air conditioning repairs and it's automatically added to my side mission log. Now I'm looking everywhere for anyone that... Oh, look what I found!
You may want to study this thing called collision detection. It's quite popular in video games today.
A problem I believe caused by the shooter option is the lack of nudity. I couldn't get anyone to stick around the captain's room, so I turned to my longtime friend, the internet, to see what the deal was. First, I didn't import the game, so there goes half my options. The rest of the women required me to say absurdly nice things, just like old times, and there's the problem. I can't choose to compliment a coworker because I didn't even have the option to. Then I remembered I was on the internet. If I wanted to see that kind of thing, there are easier ways to go about it. Ashley Williams. Man, what happened to her? She used to be a cool chick. Now everything puts her off. I got her a new card.
Mars is red, Liara is blue. The Normandy is fast, and you're a cold-hearted, blood-sucking bitch. Too subtle?
Sort of on the same token, I was talking to a reporter early in the game, and something seemed to miss. I quickly realized that this character was the PSP-licking Jessica Chobot of IGN fame. I friggin' called it! She looks like a more fully figured Jessica Chobot that just got blitzed on hashish oil. Well, I sort of called it. Oh, whatever. I've talked to her for real. What are you doing with your life? Probing planets for resources in Mass Effect 3. I dreaded the thought for a while because last time was bloody awful. After I did some of the probing, I didn't think it was all that bad. It took about 2.5 hours to do every planet in one sitting, which seems unacceptable on paper, but afterwards I began to think, well, I probably wouldn't mind Mass Effect 2 if I played it today. So what happened to me since then? The theme here is conditioning. Since 2010, I've grown callous to video production. Unemployment will do that to you. Let me give you an example. A few weeks ago, I saw in my video manager some videos that were set to private by a third party, and I decided they should be public. Unbeknownst to me at the time, setting them to public would prompt YouTube to send out new video notifications. On old videos. This really pissed me off because it was confusing viewers. I had to answer questions with, no, I didn't re-upload this. If it's been up for 3 minutes, how did I get 25,000 views? I eventually set them all back to private because I didn't feel like dealing with this stupid crap. So when faced with decisions like, should I sit here and try to think of something to say in a Destructoid post that doesn't make me sound like an asshat? Or should I monotonously scan planets in a video game? I say, which part of the galaxy should I start? Alright, let's talk about the ending. Since the perception was that I pissed on an acclaimed Mass Effect story, many wondered what would be my response to a hated Mass Effect story. First, let's step back a little bit. The entire mission progression of Mass Effect 3 reminded me of Saw the Final Chapter. Every scene began with a promise and then some malarkey messed it up. Eventually, nothing surprised me, and the ending wasn't all that shocking. So saying that the ending sucked is a misnomer, because all of it was pretty bad. But I don't quite follow the outrage that merits forcing BioWare to redo the ending. Once you do that, what's next? Can we get a better ending to God of War 3? Can we get Heavy Rain pulled from shelves for its poopy narrative? Can I marry a goldfish? I like the Mass Effect 3 ending in the sense that I was finally there. The last battle took me about 3 hours to beat, and the constant presence of the Reapers was leaving me emotionally distraught. But here's a little something for your playbook. When a Reaper attacks, the screen will shake, messing up your line of fire. However, if you bring up gun selection and wait it out, you'll always have a straight shot.
Did you have 9-year-old girls testing this game?
The idea that the Mass Effect 3 ending negates all the work that you did in the trilogy is something I simply reject. While playing them, I wasn't arguing for my atrocious spelling errors, and I wasn't painfully explaining the concept of bump mapping to somebody who has no idea how a computer works. Video games have always been, and always will be, a distraction. And for that reason, I vow to never get angry at a video game again. What? What happened? Mixed media disc?
Assessment: Xbox put ring in disc. Disc unusable. Reaction: pissed off!
There! How's that for an ending?